I've done a few of these, and like if it gets cut, it gets cut, but carry on where we can.
Yeah, so we're live now on all platforms, happily so. Okay, let me just admit this one person. Let's keep them on mute. All right. So, 1 second. Just give me a second. All right, now I've got the brief. So, just a little introduction. Welcome to the Likeminds community, Likeminds family. We're very happy to have you. And yeah, we're all about connecting, conversing, and collaborating for the betterment of course, the industry, helping small businesses and entrepreneurs, professionals, basically rethink the way that they do business and just the way that they practice. So this conversation, of course, is in alignment with that. So of course, before we go any further, I'll have to do like a little introduction of you. And of course, I went through your bio and stuff that I got from Isaac, and it was really interesting. I was blown away. I was like, okay, you know, normally we have to go through a lot, and then we have like a process. But then I saw your portfolio and your profile. I was like, oh man, she's done some stuff. You know, she actually has weight behind her, because sometimes it's like you get people who just have like a great following, but you know, don't have the great experience behind it. So once I stumbled upon your profile from Isaac, I was like, let's give it a go. I'm happy to even make her the first live that we have, and to, yeah. And also, since we didn't do this on our platform, happy belated Women's Day. I don't know if that works. Happy Women's Day belated, because, yeah.
Well,
awesome.
We're in the month of August, so I feel like every day should be our day. No?
Yeah, and like generally it should be your day every day. It shouldn't just be August. So I'm happy with that. Like, I'm all about the female energy and having it on our platform, and as far as everything that we do. So yeah, I'll just introduce the people to who you are. I'll do like a little screen share for those who can see. Hold up, I did something really cool. Let me do that. All right, hope you can see that.
Yes.
Yes, so Phindile, I don't know if I'm saying your names correctly, you correct me if I'm wrong. Matroshe Mchali.
Yes, correct.
Right? Awesome. So Phindile has got experience in different companies and different reputable agencies, such as Promise, and she's also worked for companies like Sony Music. As you can see, she's had a duration in the game for 10 years plus. She started her company called @Handle in 2015. What they do is public relations, digital marketing, and management. Overall, they call themselves brand communication specialists. They've had clients like Neotel, Samsung, 94.7, Prime Media, Citroën, and Sony Music. And under her, the brand management clients, she has Nadia Nakai, the Major League DJs, and she's also managed Family Tree. And that's basically my intro of you. And I hope, yeah, that clarifies pretty much where we're at in terms of you. But I will give you a chance to just like, you know, brief everybody just about you, what you've been doing as of recent, especially since, you know, the whole Corona situation, and where you're pretty much at before we break into our conversation.
Wow. So at the moment for us, it's business as usual, other than events and you know, being out there. The prime, or the one of our core things is literally management, and we do management for Nadia Nakai, and we help out other artists such as Major League and some of the guys at Family Tree and other artists, you know, that I'm friends with or really familiar with bookings, you know. So if I have a booking and they say, look, we're looking for DJs, or can you please hook me up with somebody like Tejo, then I'll facilitate all of that for all the artists that I am affiliated to. So it is business as usual for us, other than events and conferencing, you know.
Yeah.
COVID situation really did take us a bit back, purely because our majority in the collaborative space. So going through to brands and asking for a campaign or a campaign, you know, things have been put on pause purely because a lot of brands just feel like budget wise, no one is sure, you know. They can't literally throw themselves into a budget that's like 1 million rand for this period of time, not knowing when COVID is going to end and when we can have physical activations. So I think for us, a really hindering thing was just, you know, the people aspect of it. We are very much connected with the people, with the fans, with activations. So yeah, it's been a trying time, but we push on. We try to find plans. We make means and ways in other places.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm glad to hear that you guys are still pushing and raising the flag up high in the entertainment sector. So yeah, anyway, shout out to everybody that's joining the live. So far we have about 3 people that are on the Zoom conversation with us. Not sure about the other guys on the other platforms, but shout out to everybody who's on our YouTube currently. Everybody's on our Twitter and the people who are on my Facebook page. You guys can, of course, if you're on YouTube, do like or subscribe to our page. If you're on Twitter, please do follow us. Besides that, we can start. The conversation is around, is attention the new currency? And I really thought, funny enough, I did create this topic, or it was thought around you actually. You know, funny enough, we were like, okay, based on your profile, your portfolio experience, this would make sense because a lot of the time, I would imagine in your field, you would have to, you know, manage the attention and manage what kind of communications go through, or what do you call, which are kind of like aligned with your clients. You know what I mean? Like, for example, how much attention do you get onto Nadia Nakai? What kind of deals, you know, how do you keep her in the game? That sort of thing. So that's why we kind of, I was kind of like, you know, excited to do this topic with you, because I feel like you'd be definitely, someone who we could have that a good conversation with around that. So my first question would be that, what does attention mean for you in this social world as far as your work goes?
Okay, so attention for us has become everything, you know, based on whatever industry that you are in. We're majority entertainment and music space, events as well. Even the clients that are not so much artists per se, but if you look at things like sports scene or Reebok, you know, the whole point is to drive the attention to the brand, to the product, or whatever they're selling at that moment in time, in order for you to make sales, right? So attention is very powerful. It really, really is a powerful, what do you call it? It's a powerful thing right now.
Yes, it definitely is.
I feel like more than attention, it's connection, you know. We've managed to work with clients and people and artists all over South Africa. And there's nothing more easy than somebody who understands that you as an individual need to pay attention first in order to create the attention. Do you know what I mean? It's very easy to put a product and say, okay, this is my album, or this is my single, or this is my music video. Everybody pay attention. Go like, go buy, go stream, and without you actually investing the time in paying attention to the people who are actually viewing and streaming and buying whatever products that you have. So I'm going to use Nadia as a prime example because she is my prime artist. At the moment, I'm not working with any other musical artists except for Nadia. And I use her as a study case when it comes to topics like this because it really is special. And our messages are literally, they play out, you know, whatever we feel and whatever the strategy may be, they play out genuinely when it comes to somebody like Nadia. And it's a great example because we have a lot of people who want to understand how to build a brand, how to create the attention, And I think she's done a very good job. I think we also have done a very good job with placing her in a place where it's undeniable. You know, the
Yes,
attention is
definitely.
there, the numbers are there, and we'll get into all of that later. But for us, attention is connection, you know, the connection that
Mhm.
she builds with her fans, connection that she builds with other business partners, because in all of that, we've used collaboration as also one of our basic fundamentals when it comes to business. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people take take it for granted, you know, what a collaboration can do. Instead of seeing somebody as a competitor, collaborate with your peers. I mean, gone are the
Yeah.
days where people are working in islands and isolated,
Yeah.
and hope you're going to make it on your own. No, you need to collaborate, be it business wise or be it creatively, you know. So, what attention for us means is collaboration and connection.
So would you say that your formula for creating attention is collaboration? Like, what is your formula for creating attention actually? Because you, like you said, you've been able to do such a great job with Nadia. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So what is your formula for some people who are listening, who are in PR, for example, or who are like in your field and just trying to do similar things with different artists? You know what I mean? Like, what would the formula be to create that attention and that hype, really?
Okay, so because we're using that as an example, I just want
Yeah,
to first highlight that this example, there is no blue, you know, formula. There's no
yeah,
is the workbook, and if you do A, B, C, D, you will get the attention or you'll get the success that whatever you envision. You know, we
yeah.
customize everything for everyone. Everyone has a different sort of formula in order to achieve whatever goal you want. So be it attention, be it you just want to make sales, or you know you're just trying to get your hand into the pie. There's a different formula for everybody. But when it came to Nadia, and when it comes to Nadia, I think what was very important was for us to understand what the objective was from the beginning. Okay, you are a musician, you are a rapper. So what? You know, we've got
Yeah,
so many, the industry is saturated right now with um, entertainers. You know, be it Afro soul, be it hip hop, be it R&B, whatever the case may be, it is saturated. So, what is that unique selling position? What is the USP? You need to get through it by identifying what the goals are. You know, a lot of
mm,
people put it in a very short form, but like you need to think of long term. You know, so
yeah,
what is we made a 3 month plan, we made a 12-month plan, and we made a 5 year plan. So
yeah,
after 5 years, where do we go then? And that's how you build on your strategy. So I say this everywhere I go: strategy, strategy, strategy. If you literally put down on a piece of paper, black and white, what your strategy is then how are you going to get to the objectives? How are you going to get to the goals? And why also? Why do you need to go through certain hoops instead of, you know, a certain direction?
yeah,
So with Nadia, we literally took who she is. If you guys know who she is, it's literally plain and simple. She's a people's person. She loves
yeah,
people. She loves fans. She loves performing for her fans and treats everybody with the same kind of respect, with the same kind of care, and also trust, you know. And it
mm,
was really easy for us to link her into brands, collaborate with brands that have the same kind of ethics and ethos. And also, it just came out like her fans were the same. So I really feel like if you're looking for the attention, pay attention to who you're looking for attention from. You know, who are
yeah,
those people? What do they resonate with? Because I really feel like as soon as you're at a place where you are craving the attention, you know, you go onto Instagram and you're seeing your other peers are getting like 10 million followers or whatever the case may be, that already just restricts your creativity. You know, it's
yeah,
really
it
hard to
does.
think thinking in a competitive space than a creative space. And that's why I really felt like, you know what, collaboration is the way to go. It really is the way to go because you start viewing people in a different light. Instead of seeing people as like your enemies, you see as to how can they help you get to the place where you are. Nadia for me was a very easy case purely because of the type of person she is. She loves interacting with her peers, and she knows who is gone out of the world. Like somebody like Casper, she'll say, okay, Casper is like one of my benchmarks. Wow. And the first thing she did is reach out for a collaboration, reach out for a feature, and vice versa. As soon as people see that like you are this type of person, you become, easy to speak to and easy to access, and they come to you and like, you know what? Love what you did last time. You're as good as your last gig. Let's do something else.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, so a lot. It really is a lot. I don't think an hour would ever be enough for the chats that we have.
Yeah.
Purely, every single category has got its own branches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean that's why we have to kind of have like a structure of conversation, and I'm sure that's why you're worried when you're like, dude, I understand the topic, but like, what are we going to speak about? Because it's like so broad, right? And it's like you said, there's so many branches to it, and I like what you just mentioned around, having like when people have pressure from like their, from influencers or other people in their network who have like 10 million followers or 100,000 followers. I mean, how important are those? I'm actually coining this term, attention metrics, right? How important are attention metrics to one, your audience, one, for example, your clients, for example, because how important is this for businesses as well? You know what I mean? So I want you to first touch on like how important is this for your audience, and for your brand actually, because that's the essence, you know what I mean? That's what it is. And also like, from a client perspective, like how important is that? Because they definitely do look at things like impressions or what is your reach, how big are you, and those sort of things. So yeah, I think let's just touch on both of those things. Okay, so
the first thing when somebody walks into my office and says, okay, I'm looking for PR, and I've got a book, I've got a song, I've got an album, or we've got a new product that's coming out and we're looking for public relations. We need people to know what we're about. We need to get out there and almost take over a certain market or industry or whatever, conversation even. And it's very hard to put that objective to a number. You know what I'm saying? And what we've literally done is set out KPIs. And again, you customize your KPIs for each and every client. Not Nadia won't be the same as, let's say, a sports scene. Things that they want compared to what Nadia wants for a certain project, a song will be different to a corporate, So setting out KPIs, number one, where you're both on the same page to say, okay, in order to get to this goal or this objective, we need, is it 10 TV interviews? And within that 10 interviews, who are they? And what are their metrics looking like? Is it SABC? Is it a community TV show? It matters, So that's how we break it down. When we say what your KPIs are literally going to give you some sort of estimate as to what sort of attention you can expect from that, So we'll literally draw out your KPIs digitally and traditionally. And that's why I was asking you which space you're going into, because we could literally go all the way down to your social media, to your traditional PR and your digital. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just on a measurement scale, it is about your KPIs. So if you come through and you say, all right, I've got a single, I've got a project, and I want it to go gold. What is it going to take for it to go gold? And that's where we set out your KPIs. We say, during this week, based on the strategy again, these are the radio interviews that we're going to do. And each radio interview, you measure it and you say, okay, how many listeners do we have at that moment in time when your interview is going to be on an estimate? So it's a lot of research, but it is based on a strategy. Based on you saying, okay, cool, this is what I want. And I say, to get what you want, these are the type of interviews or the type of posts you're going to have to do. If it is digital media that we're talking about, it's now a whole strategy based on what your social media looks like. You're a person who with 500 followers, for example, you can't expect the following day to have 5K, you know, you really can't. You work it up to a place where you say, okay, cool, because your posts look like this is what we have to change. This is the captions. How engaging can we make it be? Are we putting in money so that we can boost it, so that we reach more people and we increase our impressions? Are you asking questions, you know, so that you get more engagement? You really can't just be a static person and it's literally just like, you know, flat. You need to be a round character because you're a person, be it a brand, be it a company, whatever, you need to see yourself as a round person.
Okay, awesome. I really like what you said because I mean, in simple terms, it's how important, I mean, depending on where you want to go, will determine like how important the certain, I mean, how much attention you would need and how important certain metrics are. Like maybe it's not necessary to have 1 million followers if you're going digital and you're trying to get digital interviews like podcasts or whatever the case is from platforms like this as well. But if you're trying to go to TV, then you'd need a different strategy, and therefore you'd need to build up your brand to a point where traditional media deems you worthy of their platform and that sort of thing. Yeah, hence like only when people blow up or when people go viral do like you get, you know, news interviews and stuff like that, because they also banking on the attention that you're bringing to them. So it's like a value for value attention thing going on. So I like what you said around the point of like, it depends where you want to go. You know what I mean? Because maybe you're just trying to be, you know, be a business guy and reach your clients. Then maybe you don't need 1 million followers. Maybe 5,000 is okay for you.
Yeah,
I mean, but all you need to do is,
you know, it's the quality in the numbers as well. You know, you could have 100 million followers, but literally 60% of those people are either trolls, bots. You know, listening to the message, and actually the quality of the audience is what matters the most. And all those things can literally be refined and equated to real people. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like numbers that are just thrown in the air. You can literally put it down to a single person, what they like, what they look like, where they live, etc., etc. So I'll give you an example with Nadia, right? We have a project that's coming out really soon, and we're like, where should we place project? You know, should it be just digital? Should it be on something that is premium as DSTV, let's say 103? You know, not a lot of people have got channel 103, or should we get it out to the masses where we bring on an SAP platform? You look at that and you say, you know what? There's a difference when it comes to this brand. She's hitting the numbers when it comes to, we call it the North, you know. So on Instagram, we're booming. On DSTV, the North channels, if I may, we're booming. You know, your MTVs and your Channel O, or even your Trace Urbans, you know, we're booming, we're great. So where are we lacking? We're lacking with the masses. So there's a difference with having somebody who's in a certain niche, you know, and it's not a bad thing. It isn't a bad thing. If you know what your niche is and you feel like these are my people and I'm going to stick to it, then great, you know. But like, what do you want? What is your objective? You want to hit more people. You want to target more people. Because every time we go to the hood, for example, and we do a gig in Kimberley somewhere, you know, the stadiums are packed, the conference rooms are packed to like, you know, and we just like, but where are these people? Because where are we paying our attention? We're literally paying attention to what has made us feel like you've made it. When there's like 1 million other people who like love you, but they don't have the same access to your content. So let's take this product and put it on something that is going to allow us to engage with the masses. So that's exactly what I mean with paying attention to who you want and also paying attention to what are the objectives of everything that I'm doing.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, those are valid points. Like, I mean, even in that statement that you just made, it is an opportunity for any brand or business. It's like, okay, knowing that there's a million people that don't have access, maybe stop focusing on the people that you think you should have and focus on the people that you already have. So maybe have a partnership with a department of digital in the government, for example, that will allow, them to distribute screens or internet or whatever the case is to the specific area so that they can stream into your content. Because I think a lot of the time we're just focused on like, okay, I want those type of people. But what about the people that you already have? They always say, take care of what you have before looking up. And most people usually, especially with brands and businesses, we make the mistake of like just, trying to get that, portion as opposed to taking care of your people. So I think on that, very important. I just want to, it's not really an ad break, but just while we're here, I just like to say special shout out to everybody who's watching this. I see some commotion on Twitter and I think on Facebook as well.
Good commotion of back. Can they hear us?
I think they can because I'm not getting any like bad news. But I would like to say if anybody has any questions, please leave that towards the end. Please send your questions and we will be able to get them if it's via Facebook, Twitter, or on what's the face? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Yes. You send your questions through, we'll be able to read some of those if you do have any for Phindi towards the end of the discussion. So on the next point, what I do want to talk about is, let's talk about creating buzz, right? We basically spoke about this, it's really the same word, attention. Versus organic growth. So the difference between virality, going viral, and growing your brand organically. Do you believe in a balance or do you stand on one side? What do you value and what is your opinion around that?
Okay, so for me, I do believe in a balance. I don't believe in buying numbers. Or buying people rather, because that's exactly what we're saying, right? If you buy followers or you buy views, you're buying people. So I don't believe in that. I believe in a balance and I believe in organic growth because I feel like that's the truest kind of growth, the real type of growth, this sleeping and one day you are a 1 million, 100 million followers, like out of the blue into the purple. It doesn't last for long. Easy come, easy go, For campaign or should your song go viral? Great. Is it organic? Yes, great, but it's not something that I feel like brands, especially individual brands like artists, should thrive for. Attention is very addictive,
the same. It definitely is, especially with what you see on Twitter.
Say again?
I'm saying, especially with what you see on Twitter, like attention is definitely like one of the.
I saw a post the other day and they were like, show us your most famous tweet, and people are like literally commenting that I said this once and it went viral. Oh my God. And I'm just like, it's a dangerous space to play in because as soon as you don't get those likes and those likes starts degressing, it's like nobody likes me anymore, or there's a new kid in the block and that makes you what, like irrelevant? No, So I do believe in organicness of your followers because in between whatever you stimulate and the response, there's always a space in the middle, and that space is for an individual to make a choice. And in that space, that's when they decide whether they like you or they don't like you. And I just really believe that that whole formula can be very destructive for people who are in a creative space because you start working on attention more than your talent and more than your creativity. And that is why we're seeing so many of the same thing being repeated over and over and over again. I mean, we can only take so many cooking shows on Instagram. Honestly,
Yeah.
there's so many that, okay, cool, I can work with this, you know? And also only so much uniqueness, you know, that I can take personally as somebody who's like always on my phone. You know, when you try too hard, it already just comes out so wrong, you know, and also distasteful. And the talent element also just goes out the window because you literally want to look like the last person who got that 1 million mark on their video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So being organic, being authentic, um, being as true to your brand as possible, and you know, really reaching out into your creative space and bringing out a product that is worth listening to or worth, you know, consuming, for me will always be top tier, because that brings on timeless stuff, you know, and it grows. As much as you released it today and only had 10K followers or whatever, it grows because of the way that you had placed it into the market. It grows organically to a point where it's timeless, and our kids later on will be like, wow, they were actually onto something. Instead of something that you paid 5 million for, it went viral. The following day, there was something new. What's the impact?
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. I mean, even if you think about it, like back in the day, there were always artists that had one hit wonders. Like, I mean, if you think about that global hit, that what is it? His name was Psy, the Asian guy. His name was, he did that song Gangnam Style. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he was so big, they flew him to America. He was part of the awards, and then gone. He's probably like working for his dad's company in China or something now, and he's probably forgotten all about music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't sustainable. You just blew up. You did something that wasn't, you know, true to the culture or true to yourself, and true to the brand of what music is about, or the culture of what music is about. And yeah, you just came in at the right time with the right glitch or whatever the case is, and then you're gone. And I mean, there's so many people in the last 10 years who have come with hits, and now today they're no longer here because there wasn't, like, you know, a process. There wasn't any building. You know what I mean? It's kind of like building a beautiful mansion on a very weak foundation. You know what I mean? It looks great, but tomorrow it's not going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think somebody else that I'm also working with, her name is Manfi Powell. He's on 94.7. We're currently also doing bookings, admin, and some PR as well. You know, if you look at his career, it literally did this and it's carrying on, you know, on the gross market. You know, it's going up. You know, she started somewhere, which was community, went up to a YFM, went up to 94.7, and right now the trajectory is just up and up, purely because nothing was forced. You know, she is who she is. It's either you like it or you don't like her. It's fine, because the people who do like her are literally keeping her alive, you know. And also shows the people like DJ Fresh that she's working with. You look at these people's careers. I'm not talking about jobs, I'm talking about careers. They started somewhere where they felt like, either you like me or you don't. What I'm not going to do is sell out and like put labels and money to things that like have got nothing to do with me, you know. I mean, do what I have to do and just like go up. At that, just need to understand who are your people, because all those markets were different. When she was on community, when she was on YFM, she did some TV stuff as well. All those markets were different, but then the people who actually supported her were the people who naturally loved her. And now she's just great, bigger base. And that's it for me.
Yeah, and I mean, just on that, I'd also like to touch on, I think the sun has given me a glare.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, just on that. What did I want to say now? Train of thought, come back. Oh yes, on collaborations, but in alignment with attention, right? I really want to speak about like how important it is to choose the right collaborators, because collaboration can really be with anybody. You know what I mean? Where, for example, yeah, there are just bad collaborations out there. I can't think of some at the top of my mind, but like I just want you to stress how important it is for you to have the right collaborations. Because even with for example, Nadia, your case study, she was able to collaborate with the right brands. Like currently the clothing label brand collaboration thing that you've got going on, that was really dope and was authentic. And you've got a lot of people wearing the Braga label currently. I've seen in the streets or whatever the case is, and it's worked well with the brand, and nobody was on some whoop whoop she's forcing, you know what I mean? So I really want to, you know what I mean, because had it been anything else or too far-fetched and something that didn't fit in with her brand, it wouldn't have worked out so well, and it would have done so badly for her brand and her attention. So I really want to stress how important it is to
I can't stress how important this is. You know, when they say brand alignment, and it goes to every level of what your business is about. You know, even with agencies like mine, you know, companies like mine, the people that we choose to work with are literally there because we chose to either say yes or nah, because we don't want to be in a certain space, because we don't want to be seen in a certain way, because that's not who we are. You know, as an individual, before you're even a brand or whatever, think about it like this. If you were to go to a certain place where they sell food and sell drinks, and you know, outside it looks very pretty, whatever, and you get there and you're being served things that are just like half-assed, and you just like, no, this is not me. I don't belong here. What do? You exit left, you know. So with Nadia and all the other people that we work with, it was really, really important for us. Well, it is really important for us to look at the brand and say, how do they represent themselves? And within that, how do I fit in, and do I fit in? And more than me, do my fans fit in? Because my fans are literally going to buy my name. You know, they're not just buying this because Sports Seed is selling it. No, they're buying it because my name is there, you know. So it's really important for you to see yourself within somebody's company and see your fans and people who actually consume your product in their company as well. It literally becomes a brand partnership for all of us. The people who are buying are selling. So with Reebok, with Sports Scene, and other people we've worked with, we become a family. It literally becomes so natural, because from day one, you can almost tell, yeah, these are my people and I'm very happy here, you know? And if it's not, it really isn't. Maybe a once off. And yes, sometimes you'll have things you're just like, ish, that was a bad move, but just dust your behind and move on. But the ones that belong to you and belong to your consumers, you'll see it like that. I'll give you an example with Sports Scene. Sports Scene, we walked there and we thought we are going to do just 2 drops. It was a 12-month contract, 6 months, 1 drop. Next month, 2nd drop, and we're out, right?
Yeah.
Because the relationship and the collaboration made so much sense, the clothes literally sold out in a few weeks of them being in store. And they were just like, look, we've got this relationship going again. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. To a point where they were like, actually, here's the contract. You say yes or no, because we love your stuff. As soon as you're tired, you'll tell us, okay, Shab, I'm tired, but we're not tired of you. So carry on, you know, because it's
that's awesome.
It really is awesome. And just having that type of relationship with a brand is so important, because not only will they do a certain job for you, they go over and beyond. The same way you as the brand need to go over and beyond. And I feel like a lot of artists, a lot of brands don't understand that, because you feel like because they're paying you a certain amount, you must do a certain amount. But I'm telling you, as soon as you go over and beyond for people who do the same for you, even if they don't at the beginning, fine. But as soon as you turn around and you build that trust, you build that respect, and you do the most, they do the most for you too. And Sports Scene is one of those. examples, they've literally done the most right.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think that is like legit a great case study, especially for this entire conversation, because it literally deals with every part of attention and how you manage it and that sort of thing, and like what's bad for you and what isn't bad for you. So I think people should look at Nadia's brand really closely, especially if they're looking to see about, you know what I mean, learn about it, how her attention is being managed and what collaborations is she doing, because I haven't seen her do anything inauthentic as to this point, or this far at least, you know, from a professional perspective or from like just getting your bag perspective. But yeah, as we're on getting the bag, do you do any influencing yourself?
I don't.
So why not?
So easy to preach this message, but it's hard to practice when you are the implementer and the executor. So doing it yourself, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I hate being in front of the camera. I hate, you know, having to pose and post and tag and watch, because I'm just
it comes as a shock to me. Sorry for judging, but it does. Like, you seem like the kind who would want to be on camera quite often. So
no, I'm not.
That's why I was like, don't you do? And plus, you're following on the gram. I was like, okay, she's on influencer numbers, so she probably does, you know, especially with your relationships work-wise. Yeah.
No, I endorse the things that I love endorsing. I endorse the things that I believe in. And it's never for, well, till this point, it's never been for a brand at all, purely because like, I just feel like there needs to be some sort of separation between management and the artist, you know. Those lines are very blurred in our industry. And I'd hate to be one of those people. My artists will tell you as well that like these type of and they literally give me anxiety and palpitation attacks, you know, because I'm just like, you know? But in my office, one-on-one, me and you, oh wow, you know, we're conquering. But as soon as it comes to scripting, I don't know. I'm just comfortable with being behind the scenes. I'm comfortable with giving the advice. I'm comfortable with executing the strategy more than I am being the strategy.
I see. And that's why I'm like, look, you've got the energy, and I mean, influencing sometimes, I guess we have kind of butchered the idea and the concept of influencing. We constantly think about people who are at restaurants, you know, modeling watches and stuff. And sometimes it can literally be as simple as, you know, water. I just drink water. It's what I do. I work out. That's my thing. And you know, that's what it is, and that could be influencing. But anyway, but since you don't do it, yeah.
I don't want the attention. I don't want the attention. Like, I love the G. I love being the G in lasagna and just moving silence, you know?
Yeah, no, I look, I understand, because like you, I actually personally don't like influencing. I'd rather be influential. It's a difference, you know. I'd rather be someone who does things that people look up to and want to follow in that direction, but not because that's my way of you know, being or making money. And that's not shade on influencers. I believe if that's your thing, that's your thing. And if it isn't your thing, it quite isn't, you know. I'm also like behind the camera mostly. I mean, if it wasn't like up to like me not having anybody, if I had someone to do this, I probably would have been like, dude, you do that, I'll control everything behind the scenes. But it's like, you know what I mean? But now it's like, you know what, you got to do what you got to do. But other than that, influencing, but you do manage influences though, right? I don't know if I saw that in your profile.
Yes and no. Recently, we've just signed on a fitness influencer. He's Eden Surge. And the only reason why I was so compelled to work with him is because of the actual work that he does. It's not based on the numbers, you know, it's not based on Instagram. He's over 10K and on, you know, no, it's literally because of the work that he actually does as a fitness influencer. He's a celebrity fitness trainer, yes, but the work that he's doing for the community, you know, just teaching people how to eat healthy, with less than 400 rand. You know what I mean? Those things mean a lot to me because I understand how food is so expensive, man. They say eat clean, eat clean. And you're just like, do you know how much flax seeds are? Like, it's expensive. But he'll show you a way of incorporating things that you have already that you just didn't know into your diet and being healthy, and also teaching the community, especially communities that are, are not so privileged to have a wellness market now and then, or
Yeah.
go to Discount and you do most of your shopping there. Discount is expensive. So
Yeah,
I
it
love
is.
what
It is.
he does, and that's why I'm working with him. When it comes to other influencers, I work with them in campaigns, but I
Okay.
don't like one influencer or a specific influencer. I literally work with brands
I
if
mean,
I'm allowed.
okay, I have one more question around the whole attention thing. So as far as another thing I saw in your profile was that you do a lot of like sponsorships for or procurement for brands or the people that you work with, which I found very interesting. We actually had a conversation around that last year when we could still see people, and would have been interesting if I had known you then. Probably would have been a much more interesting conversation
Yeah,
because I
because
want to know.
flash page going across the page saying brought to you by, and then go on.
Yeah, so what I wanted to speak about was like, what kind of metrics do, or what kind of attention do sponsors look for before sponsoring something? Like typically, like say for example, if I wanted sports scene or an alcohol brand or something, like what do people typically use? Because yeah, I think a lot of people have a lot of like confusion around like that. Is it an attention thing? Is it knowing how to do it thing? Like what really is the root? So if you can leave us with that
Um,
gem, I'll be
yeah,
happy.
it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Some people, yes, they do want the attention. They'll look at your Instagram page and say, okay, cool. He's sitting on 1 million followers. The engagement is pretty high. Reach is high. Impressions are high. The insights are good. Some people do
Okay.
look at it, but then some other people say, we're looking for you because you are literally going to introduce us to a market that we don't necessarily have on our side. So with
Yeah.
sponsorship, um, trying to acquire sponsorship is various things that come into play. But the most important thing for me when I'm looking for a sponsor for a client, even you, let's say you're one of my clients, Likeminds,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
what we would do is we look at what your objectives are, and because we already like got relationships in and around the industry already, be it alcohol, be it FMCG, be it digital technology, whatever the case may be, telecoms even. We know at that moment in time what their objectives are. So, for example, if MTN is saying, listen, our music app is not doing as well as we want, or even Huawei, if they've got like a music and gallery app and they've got it in the phone, but they just say like we're not hitting those numbers because we don't have a certain thing. What is that thing? And that's where we put our minds and we apply ourselves and say, okay, cool. If you were to say, okay, Likeminds, you guys are a digital and visual podcast. If we were to put your whole platform into a MTN music play, what will that do for one another? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's about the objectives that the type of brands that you be looking for. What are they currently looking for? Don't give them solutions to problems that they don't have. You know, everybody
Yeah.
literally send the same proposal to the same people to say, I'm looking for 1 million rand because I want to do a festival in F&B Stadium. Yes, you and like 100 million other people around you know what I mean? But like, what problem have you solved for us? Because that's not our problem. Our problem for exposure, for example, like saying that, yeah, we'll give you branding all across the stadium, whatever. They don't have that problem. Everybody knows as soon as they see their logo, they know exactly who we are. So we don't have the problem. So what's in it for me? So
Mm-hmm.
we work backwards more than like what the usual way would be. You go to the brand first, and you find out what problems we are. let's solve for that and also solve for you.
Okay. I don't know if I should be selfish and go forward, or we should do a Q&A. Okay, fine. Let's just do the Q&A because it's for the people. And then I think we'll have a separate conversation because I'm actually, we are looking for someone with your expertise, so great. Yeah. So we have someone from YouTube, Tiamo Punyane, right? Q&A. She asks, what is the strategy in terms of brand partnership with Reebok? Is the Braga line going to move over in the future, seeing that Nadia is the brand ambassador?
Oh.
And also, she says she loves the interview. She's loving the interview.
Hi, Tiamo. You're very much in line with Nadia because asking questions like that, you must know something.
Yeah.
So we can't say as yet. We can't say as yet when it comes to Nadia actually having her own line with Reebok or her own shoe or whatever the case may be. At the current moment, she is the lead ambassador for Reebok, especially female, because that's exactly what they're pushing right now. Their objective is to penetrate the female market more than it is the male market. So that's why she is lead right now. But because of the type of people we are and they are, the canvas is really blank. You know, we've got a lot of things to play with. Before COVID even hit, our plans were ridiculous. But we're finding other ways because it needs to make business and financial sense for everybody. You know, you can't spend on something and then the government says it's closed. Then you like have lost money. So we're just waiting for a few more doors to be open and a lot is going to happen. I can promise you that.
Awesome. She's answered on that. She did ask one more question. I mean, if there's anyone on Facebook, I mean, or on the other channels, I hear that the YouTube has been giving a little bit of issues. We will fix that now. But we do have another question from her again. She says, which campaign have you worked with that you feel drew the most attention or awareness, and was the most fun to work on, and what did you learn from the experience?
Sure. I think to date, sports scene has been one of the bestest. Purely because we got so entrenched to a point where, like, you see the stitching that you see here, like Nadia knows every single thing. We went to factories in London, Madagascar, Mauritius, just to go choose material, to go choose what the label at the back, you know, what it would look like, the seaming at the bottom, what it, you know, how, everything, you know. So it was also, we did like an extensive trend research program in London where we were literally looking at all the trends in all the stores in London because they're like ahead of us, fashion-wise. And so being there was like a, you know, it was like a time warp because we're just like, oh my God, we're literally in the future because we're going to take all of this stuff and take it to Mzansi, and it's probably going to take 2 years until they even get it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that was the sports scene collaboration and campaign has been amazing. And just the way it's unfolded is a blessing. It really is a blessing.
Yeah, awesome. Well, there she has it. I'm sure she's happy with that answer. As she said, she's loving the anymore. I'll just find out if we have any more questions. And then, but yeah, look, what I do want to ask was also like, how was your experience in like the UK? As far as I know that I also read somewhere that you were literally like, you know, starting the market in different countries, in different continents, something like that, which is of course the UK. And I've just forgot off the top of my head where else were you? And like, what did you see that was different in terms of the way they do things, as far as entertainment and brands and all of that stuff?
Yeah. You know, there's a few things they do differently, like from us, but one or two of the things can really, you know, commend the globe on versus.
I think we lost it there for a second, or if we lost me. Give us a second, guys. Not sure what's happening. Yeah, we'll find out. Let me find out from her. Whoa, okay, this sucks. And we're just getting to the nice stuff. Okay. I'll try and admit her again. Give me a second, guys. Let me find out. Okay. Well, guys, you know how digital is. Sorry, I unmuted myself. You know how digital is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So I hope everybody has enjoyed the conversation so far. I'll just give her another 2 minutes to find out if it's a network thing or her battery died or whatever the case is, if we can readmit her into the conversation. But other than that, it's been a fantastic conversation. If you guys have, oh, there she's back in action. But please keep those questions coming in. And then, yeah, you.
I can't.
What happened?
It's that my phone was too hot.
What? Wow. I've never heard of that. Damn, that's technology, guys. So this is exactly why I much prefer like the physical being like physically there, having an actual live event, and then none of this happens. I mean, the worst that could happen is like a microphone going off, but other than that, you still have the conversation. You know what I mean? People don't just, you know, disconnect.
So sorry,
But
the phone is too hot and went onto emergency services. So sorry, guys, I'm back.
All right, cool. By the way, guys, the conversation will be uploaded later for those who have to be elsewhere or just checking in or whatever the case is. You will find it on YouTube. We will, because we are recording this now, so it will be on YouTube. We will drop like little edits on Twitter. We'll also drop something on our IGTV. I'll also put something on my Instagram if you follow me. I'll put something on, there'll be something on the Likeminds page as well. The full length ones will be on YouTube though. We'll also have some on our podcast because yeah, we run this at the same time as our podcast. But yeah, because someone asked. So there's another question. What would be the best brand to partner with? Based on the current COVID situation that could sustain the momentum you've already built?
For me personally, or like for an artist maybe, or what?
Wasn't specified.
Okay, I'll tell you though, for artists, I think the best brands to collaborate with right now are brands that are essential brands. because we all know that they are still, booming, especially like pharmaceutical brands. Everybody is still like business as usual. The ones that are terrible to work with right now are alcohol brands, because of the way the government literally turns it on and off, literally like a light. You can't
Yeah.
even plan the next 3 months because you never know when it will be off again. So when um, the alcohol sector was,
Yeah.
lifted, it was a big sigh of relief, especially for us hip hop
Yeah.
members, because we were just like, okay, cool. Now we can get into strategy again. And it's really, yeah, this year has been a joke. It really is a joke because there's nothing you can plan because nothing is for sure and our world is uncertain. But I'd say FMCG brands, all your food brands, all your pharmaceutical, your technology brands right now, it's a good time to collaborate with, but also they're also on the lookout for phishing campaigns, because a lot of people just want to make a buck right now. It's exactly what I'm talking about when I say that grow a natural long-term relationship with somebody, because in times like this is where they should come through for you and say, it's okay, you're gonna eat, we're gonna work, and we'll be fine. But these day 1 to day 3 and it's done, it's literally, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do much. No, yeah. Okay, I mean, I think you've definitely hit the nail on the head with that one. The brands that you can work with, brands that you can't work with. Of course, based on what you're saying, and what I got is try to work with brands that aren't as affected by COVID and regulations than brands
Yeah.
that are, like not alcohol, as you said. Anything alcohol is bad. So
Yeah.
it's bad. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else is on the list, but
So
yeah.
in that breath, Matthew, I also want to say that, like, just because we're going through what we're going through right now,
Yeah.
for managers and directors out there, don't ignore people who can't do anything for you right now, because this is gonna end, and the first
Yeah.
people they're gonna reach out to is the people who supported them through this tough time. As
Yeah.
much as they're under a ban, they're also suffering. So vice versa, I like to put it out there for brands where you can help artists and people who are literally staying at home because they can't go to events and make their, living like usual. Support them, because you're also going to need them as soon as this is over. You're going to be calling on us and say, yo, give me this person for a discounted rate. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, let's be family, guys, and let's work with one another, because when this ends, it's another world. Because right now we're in another new normal, but as soon as it
Yes.
ends, it will be the new normal again as well. We won't go back to what we used to be. It will be something else.
Exactly. There will be new players, new relationships, new people, new everything. So
And
yeah,
yeah, so let's take
100%.
care of one another, from brand artists to
Yeah.
managers, and also
Awesome.
you guys were in the media space.
Yeah.
You for everything that you guys are doing, because you are actually keeping a lot of artists busy, alive, and mentally sane, because they come onto platforms like this and have a chat, with their fans and with you guys. So thank you to you guys too.
Yeah. We appreciate you for being on here. And yeah, I'm so happy we did this. It was a very engaging conversation. I definitely learned a thing or two. We'll definitely speak about some of the stuff offline, but I am grateful. I'm thankful that we were able to bring this together. Thank Isaac for throwing you my way. It definitely got sent. This was a great
Yeah.
conversation overall. I'm happy. We've definitely come to the end of the conversation. It's actually past the 1 hour mark. We agreed not to go over because otherwise we'll have a very long conversation and broad conversation, and I'm sure we could probably do that offline. But
Yeah.
I do want to say thank you from behalf of the Likeminds team and also everybody else that was watching. Thank you guys. And yeah, thank you, Phindi, for specifically agreeing to do this. So yeah, I think, yeah, that will be all for the conversation. And yeah, I would like to say cheers. And that's it.
Bye. Thank you very much. Let's chat.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do that. Oh yeah, where can people find you? Yes, before you.
Oh, yes. So my company is called @handle, and my email address is phindile@handle.co.za. I'm Matroshe on Twitter and Instagram, and then on Facebook, I'm Phindile Matroshe Mjali. And you'll find me, hey? You'll find me.
Definitely. Okay, thanks for that. I'll make sure to also put that in our videos and stuff. Awesome.
Okay, cool. Just don't put my cell phone number in.
Okay, definitely not. All right.